Let's go ahead and get to your third song. We go into Mark for this one?
Sure, I'll take this one. This is a song called Lightning Underground.
Interesting.
It's really inspired by, I found out that coal mines, when they burn for hundreds of years underground, and some of the mining disasters that are still going on right now that have been burning all these years.
Before we were born, some of them.
I created a story about this character and whose father was killed in a coal mining accident. It's basically just
okay. It's Reedy River String Band here in Studio B.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 5 years of nonstop driving, miss you desperately. 5 years shifting gears, trying to feed this family. 5 years behind the wheel since I stopped digging coal. But I love you cannot be spelled, the lines out on this road. I honored every vow, our preacher said repeat, and still kept Dad's final wish with oaths I swore to keep. After Dad's voice came on the wire saying quit this mining town, his last word struck short by lightning underground. It's been 5 long years, one long highway, 18 wheels back to you. And it's been 5 long years, one long highway, 18 wheels back to you, back to you. Dad's steel hammer thundered out black ore. I thundered back to you, hammer to the floor. I guzzled down diesel fuel to wash gold from my veins. As you washed off each mile and helped me ease my pain. Remembering Dad's pleading eyes before a shift down that hole, saying, son, don't follow me cause you can't marry coal. And he might have made it out alive, but his crew was pinned down, and he raced back through the black facing lightning underground. It's been 5 long years, one long highway, 18 wheels back to you. And it's been 5 long years, one long highway, 18 wheels back to you, back to you. I can't take more life on the road. My kids grow fast, my friends growing old. Hold my head up, going back down, back into the mine, facing lightning underground. And it's been 5 long years, one long highway, 18 wheels back to you. And it's been 5 long years, one long highway, 18 wheels back to you. And it's been 5 long years, one long highway, 18 wheels back to you, back to you.
All right, Reedy River String Band here in Studio B on WNCW, Lightning Underground. Self-titled EP is out, 6 tunes on that, and I'm sure y'all have a repertoire bigger than that since you're playing all these live shows. You all, let's see, the first time I remember had y'all on my live music calendar was at the Greer Arts and Eats Festival. You guys were on that pretty much recently.
Yeah, pretty recently.
And let's see, I had some others here. The Fall for Greenville. That's a pretty big deal, man. And so is Albino Skunk Festival. So
we love Albino Skunk. Can't say good enough things about. I mean, it's like going home when you go to that festival.
No, yeah,
it really is.
Yes, we're huge fans here at WNCW, and I think they like us a little bit too. And so
yes, they do.
It's great to have that mutual admiration society. But we love what they do. I asked the other guys about their instruments. And I didn't ask you, Sterling. There's usually a violin or a fiddle coming in here with a bit of a story. Do you have one on that one?
Mine, I went to a violin shop and played about every single one on the wall, and just the one that kind of resonated the most with me, I wasn't really paying attention to the labels as much, but looking afterwards, it's a 70s copy of a Strad, so it's been around for a little bit, but not 49.
Yeah, it's a 48K.
48K,
so
wow.
Not quite the history as a 48K, but yeah. It's from 70-something, and it's just a copy of a Stradivarius.
Yeah, I was around in the 70s. It was a pretty good decade, I guess, for instruments and
for
things.
fiddle making, yeah.
Maybe so, yeah. I noticed a name on here. Let's see. Andrew Crawford that played with y'all on this record and produced the record?
Produced the record, yeah. Andrew Crawford's a great friend of the band, and him and Brandy Colt play together under Crawford Colt. But his home studio, he's produced some fantastic recordings of his own and a bunch of other great musicians and artists in the area. And he produced this album and played mandolin and some dobro. I'm trying to think of
banjo.
Anything else. Maybe some banjo.
I thought you played banjo. Actually, live, Sterling plays banjo, mandolin, and harmonica as well. So
I knew about the harmonica.
We keep him busy.
Yeah. Constantly switching. Yeah, I play some clawhammer. I can't quite figure out that 3-finger Scruggs style thing yet. You know, that's a whole other animal.
Well, listening to Andy Thorne talk about on that viral video he had with the foxes and all that sort of thing, you know, he plays both, but he feels like the clawhammer is a simpler style, said the animals reacted to it better. And to me, as a non-player, a clawhammer, there's nothing simple about that. Maybe to you that play and have played for years, maybe it's simpler, but
it's a little more approachable. As if you're just starting out, I'd say maybe take some clawhammer first, maybe.
I guess with a 3-finger, it's there's some sort of coordination that you have to have. You know, I don't know, but it's hard for someone who doesn't play to explain or really understand. I just know that you guys that do it make it look easy. But I can't see, I'm watching somebody play clawhammer, and I can't see how the melody's coming out of that. You know, what's the secret there, Right,
yeah. It's a kind of counterintuitive looking thing. Your hand's literally in the shape of a claw, and you're kind of beating it against the drum, you know. I
noticed that, you all are, I guess you're sort of self-described as newgrass. I guess that's a thing and all that. But you bring Appalachian roots, of course, and you say infused with rock and jam bands and stuff like that. Individually, let's start with you, Rush. What sort of influences do you feel like you bring into the songwriting and the arranging and all?
Well, before I joined this band, I was mainly doing like folk, Americana, folk rock sort of stuff. And I had a band with drums and all that, drums, bass, and another guitar. So I feel like I bring a lot of the singer-songwriter element to it. As far as like my writing style, it's a little more subdued than like typical the more upbeat stuff that Sterling does. More like singer-songwriter style, I would say.
Okay, Sterling.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I like the kind of intersection between like maybe diluted bluegrass, not traditional bluegrass, and kind of old-timey music that gets a little looser, a little higher energy. Like back when I was starting kind of really getting into fiddle about a decade ago, I was really into the Old Crow Medicine Show at that time. I was really digging their stuff at that time. And had a band around back then that we played a bunch of material, so I had probably 20+ songs, and so I've kind of brought those and we've kind of rebooted them into this band, Up on Blocks and a few of the others. Yeah.
I just love that song. What about you, Mark?
I'm the deadhead in the group. I was the guy that had the van, that toured with Jerry, the whole 9 yards. And but it was funny. While I was like, I listened to them live so much that I wasn't listening to the Dead. I was listening to a lot of bluegrass at that time. And so when Jerry was alive, it was like mostly it was like Tony Rice and Bela and Grissman and those guys, which just I don't know. That's where the love for upright bass started, right there. And then going to Merle Fest all those years and watching those guys on stage. And I was in a jam band at the time. We still play. It's called The Work. And I told her, I was like, well, if the Work, and we still play, but I said if the Work doesn't ever make it, I want to learn how to play upright bass one day, and that's what I want to do. And then here I am all these years later. So it took me a little while to realize that dream.
That's cool. I can hear the jam band vibe in some of the songs, and even I don't know, maybe I was dreaming it, but at sometimes some of the turns and transitions you do, I hear what it's almost like a prog rock influence in some of that, And a boy like me who grew up on Kansas and Emerson, Lake and Palmer and
King
all that,
Crimson.
King Crimson.
Yeah.
I can pick that out of stuff somehow. Is some of that influence in there? You think?
Yeah, I think so. I think when we were kind of getting the band up and running, we said let's really work on our arrangements, and Mark really was kind of important in saying like, hey, let's get these arrangements really tight. Let's make some cool stuff and get something a little more interesting than just verse, chorus, solo, chorus. We're done, And so it's been really, really fun challenge.
Yeah.
Working with all these arrangements.
So it's One World Brewing West in Asheville tonight. Any other upcoming gigs in the region you want to mention while we're here?
Fretwell in Spartanburg is where we're playing on Sunday, and I'm not exactly sure the time, but I believe it's 6 o'clock. That's Fretwell in Spartanburg. I'm looking forward. Never played the venue, but hearing good things about it.
Yeah. They've been. We've had some of their gigs on our live music calendar here. Glad to be in a relationship with them now too. Some great stuff there that they're booking. So glad to know you guys this Sunday.
That's this Sunday
at Fretwell. Right. Any others? Yeah. Any others y'all can think of?
I will say that it's still in the listening area, but we play outside of Greenville called a place called Golden Grove every Wednesday. So far, we're gonna every other Wednesday, and we're gonna continue at least through the winter, maybe. So if y'all get a chance, WNCW listeners, that's a great gig for us, and we just kind of let our hair down there and just kind of let it loose.
All right,
and just do all our new stuff down there. It's a great vibe at that place.
All right. What? I'm sorry.
I was going to throw one other gig on the list, if it's all right. On December 9th, we're going to be down in Macon, Georgia. I used to live down in Macon, have a bunch of good friends there, and they've been kind enough to come out and see us play when we come into town. So we'll be at a place called JBA on December 9th.
Okay, cool. Yeah. It's Reedy River String Band tonight. You can catch them if you so desire at One World Brewing West in Asheville.